Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm up in the studio. Now today, to be a little bit different, I didn't ship anything today. I spent the entire day, not the entire day, I spent my entire time in the machine shop, which was maybe 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours, building today. Today, all I did today was I built adjustable remotes and heat bottle remotes. Now tomorrow I'm going to ship. And then the day after that, I'm going to build choke hazards and M2SB and M4s, probably. I probably won't get those all built, but that's what I'm working towards. Shipping one day and building the next. So, I got through that. I ran out of tinny towards the end, but that happens every day. And I got a lot of product built. So, today I got my box from Atomic Zombie. This time it was really quick. I ordered and I got the box within like a week, maybe a little less. And what I ordered was 2 adapters that slide over a 3/4 inch shaft and lock onto the shaft with a bolt. And then on one side of them they have a bolt pattern for a disc brake. And on the other side of them, they are threaded to take a ratchet box, you know, a cluster, a Shimano cluster with a ratchet box with a coaster, you know what I'm talking about. Click, click, click. Anyway, I ordered 2 of those. Now, I was surprised. I expected them to be made out of steel, and when they got here, they were made out of aluminum. Had I known that they were going to be made out of aluminum, which is probably fine, I might even have tooled up and set the thread count and made them myself. But anyway, they're made out of aluminum, and it cost me $58 to get them here. It was like $25 for the 2 of them. I bought 2 at a time. If you buy 2, they're a little cheaper, like $25 a piece and $8 shipping. So anyway, I got that all done. Now let's take a picture. I'll take a quick look at those parts. They are gorgeous. They're very, very nicely made. Okay, now I want to do some info here. I've gotten a lot of emails from people, some of them newbies, some of them new to a particular stove, and I want to answer a bunch of questions that I don't think I did that good a job explaining through email because people still seem to be a bit confused. Okay, the Elite, unfortunately, after I used to send it out without the wick installed, but a piece of wick inside, and the directions reflected that. Unfortunately for me, when I decided to install a wick on all of them, I didn't change the directions. So when people got them, the directions were for installing your own wick, and people got confused. Okay, one last time, don't worry about it. If you have one of my stoves, it comes with a wick installed. Next, BIOS 5 operation. I had another person who had a BIOS carry case, and he said that the flames didn't come out the jets. They came out between the bottom of the stove, the top of the stove and the bottom of the pot, and just kind of flittered up the side of the pot. Well, I asked him a series of questions. First off, I asked him if there was ports in the bottom to let the fuel in, have the ports on the top. Was it jetted on the outside? What was he using for a pot? What's he using for fuel? And after he told me that all the jets were where they were supposed to be, he was using a 12 centimeter pot, and he was using heat in the yellow bottle. That rules out 99.999% of things. But stop and think about this for a minute. If the flames weren't coming out the jets, then that means that when you prime it, you're not supposed to put the pot on until the stove is heated enough so the flames come out the jets all the way around, and you've got a good flame pattern, and the primer starts to die back. Then you put on the pot. So if the flames weren't coming out the jets, or if they were and they immediately went out when you put the pot on, you didn't let the stove preheat long enough to build up enough heat to overcome an ice cold pot being set on it. So what you need to do is let it prime completely and blossom out and heat up good. And then when you put the pot on, if it's got really cold water in it, and when you set it on, the flames start going right back, pick the pot up just so it's not touching anymore, and just hold it there for 30 seconds and let the flames come back out and hit the bottom of it and take the chill off it before you set it on, and then you should be fine. Okay, that takes care of that one. Okay, number 5. Oh, BIOS, bumps. I had an email from a gentleman that said that when he received his BIOS, it had 4 bumps on the top, raised right up. And he wanted to know if that was supposed to be there, or whether he was supposed to take a hammer and bang them all down flat. It's supposed to be there. We'll just leave it at that. Okay. Now, another gentleman got his order and was pretty upset because he ordered 2 cut-down pots. Okay. And of course they're going to be right on the invoice because that's what was on it when he ordered it. Then he emailed me and asked me, told me that he decided he only wanted 1. Would I take 1 off of his order? I did. The packing slip, we crossed out 2 and put in 1 for the pots. Unfortunately, I didn't cross out the $20 and put in 10, although I did in PayPal refund his money through PayPal. So if something like that happens to you, go to PayPal and look and make sure that I have refunded your money. Don't go by what's on the slip, because I'll try to cross that out on the slip next time and put the, but anyway, if you ask me to take something off, I'll refund your money through PayPal. Okay. Another one. Person had a stove, once again, BIOS 5, using it with a cauldron cone. No, we don't use BIOS 5 with a cauldron cone. Simple reason for that is BIOS 5 is designed to run with a pot setting directly on top of it, in contact with it. That pot and the mass from the pot and the mass from the water keeps the heat in the stove from building up. It goes from the stove into the pot, and the pot kind of acts like a governor to keep the stove burning at the right temperature. If you lift the pot off of the stove, as in a cauldron cone, and then surround it with a cone so the heat can't escape, it's going to go nuts. It's going to burn, you'll burn 2 ounces of alcohol in like 2 minutes. It's going to go crazy. The flames are going to go everywhere. It would be the same as taking an automobile, getting in and leaving it in park, and not putting a load on, just leave it in park, start the engine up, and then hold the accelerator to the floor and let the engine go right up to about 8,000 or 9,000. Same thing. Those engines are only made to be accelerated when there's a load of the car on them. If you put it in neutral and step down, no load on the engine, and it's going to pop its cookies. Okay. Oh, another gentleman wanted a special order, and I told him to, since it was off-site, I told him to send the payment via PayPal to stick40@tdstlme.net. And he thought he did, but I never got the payment, so I never shipped the product. Tomorrow I will ship that product because today I got his payment. The reason why I didn't get it the first time was once he went back through the whole thing, they finally refunded his money. PayPal did, because it was never claimed. And the reason why it was never claimed was he sent it to stick40@tdstlme, not TELME. That's not my email address, so I never got the payment. And neither did anybody else, because evidently there's nobody out there that's TEIME. So make sure you get the email address correct. It's stik40@tdstlme.net. And if you don't, I won't get it, and you won't get your product. Okay, now to finish this video out, I'm going to talk, for you bike guys, I'm going to talk about trikes for a minute, or bicycles in general, and electricity. Now, my fantasy is to have a velomobile completely electric. It's also got to be able to pedal it to make it legal. But if you can pedal it, if you can move it over the ground with pedals, then they overlook the electric as long as it doesn't go in Maine over 20 miles an hour, and it doesn't have more than a 750 watt hub on it. Easy enough. Okay, so I have a Velomobile, but when you go to make it electric, first off, as soon as you make it a Velomobile, you double the weight of it or close to it. So it's not that great to pedal on anything but level or downhill. Uphill is tough because it's going to be heavy. No way around it. Second off, when you decide to electrify it, you add the weight of another trike on top of that. Again, I add another 40 pounds, 50 pounds with batteries and a hub and everything else. So then it's going to be so heavy you couldn't pedal if you wanted. I mean, you could a little bit, but not much. It's pretty much going to have to run electric all the time. So if you get enough batteries in there to make it reliable electric so you can drive a long distance, they're so heavy that it's not efficient because the whole thing is going to weigh 200 plus pounds. So if you go with more batteries, you add more weight. Now you need a bigger hub. Now you need more batteries. It just starts a chain reaction that you can never escape from, especially in a Velomobile. Now there is a way around it. You can go to lithium polymer, my first choice, lithium ion, my second choice, or lithium iron batteries, which will cut your battery weight in half and make it fairly practical, except for the fact that it's going to cost you $1,000 or $2,000, depending on how many batteries you want. It's going to cost you at least $1,000 for a 20 amp hour battery, and if you probably want two of them, so that's $2,000 just for the batteries. And it's still too heavy to really pedal. So you get away from the Velomobile completely, give that up. That's just not practical. None of the Velomobiles really are. They're just too heavy. And go to just a stripped down mountain bike, as light as you can make it, and a 500 watt hub, and about $1,500 worth of lithium ion batteries, and you got a pretty good rig if you don't mind setting up on a mountain bike. You could probably also do that with a trike. Be a little bit heavier, but yeah, you could do that with a trike. A factory, $2,000 or $3,000 factory trike that only weighs like 30 pounds. Yeah, you could do that. All just too much money. I'm really studying this whole thing and trying to figure out the best way to go about it. Now, by going from a rear hub, going to a what they call mid-drive, where the motor is actually in the center of the bike and runs off the same chain as you pedal off of, with a mixer box so that the pedals don't turn when the motor's turning, and vice versa. That way you can use your gears in the rear to shift down for hills and shift up for straightaways or downhill and make it much more efficient. And I'm kind of looking into that, and that's what I bought the two adapters from Atomic Zombie, so I can make a mixer box. So when I was pedaling with one cluster, the other cluster would just freewheel and wouldn't turn the motor. And when the motor went on the other cluster, the one I was pedaling on would freewheel and wouldn't turn the pedals. And it's just simply a 3/4 inch shaft with two freewheels on it, with two clusters. So anyway, that's where I am right now, and I'm going to goof around with that. But what we need in this world is better batteries, or a lot cheaper. Lithium polymer batteries are great, but the price needs to come down. So I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and remember, the Elite has a wick wrapped around the bottom. Try to have some fun today, and try to have a really great day. Bye-bye.